Okay, the temple should be the latest. There we go, the latest one. Right. Just checking something because I tweaked the ini files to enable FXAA. Game did not seem to like that. Right, looks nice, beautiful. Hopefully I'm well rested to tackle this, but yeah, the previous level combined with being a bit tired, yeah, the battle rooms there did not really feel that great to me. So hopefully this will be a better experience. Obviously you can also having to replace one of the best, and that could obviously be contributed to me abusing the quick save a little bit. But yeah, also an autosave before checkpoint before the boss would have negated it, so it's a little bit up there. So many of these enemies. And the difficulty is set back up to normal. A little bit. I'll try to see how this goes. Not checking my FPS, just want to see how it feels on the Ultra. Taking quite some damage from the hit scanning blue guys. Great music, probably a trap to the left and right, but who knows? So I probably have gotten a good chunk of time in this. Whoa, okay, I almost died. Didn't seem like I took that much damage, but I guess I did. That's... Huh. Normal on this final level seems a little bit weird. Or why? I think it is the blue hit scanning guys. They really can chunk you. Well, I got my health back, but still a little bit weird how much you can just tank damage. I think it is those, yeah, they just hit me immediately no matter what I try. It's very difficult to avoid taking damage. Definitely more fun games where you know, a little bit easier to avoid taking damage here. Obviously, mostly it is hit scanning enemies that can really get you. Why is my itchy? Also. Feels, I don't know that best, but it feels pretty damn smooth in this level here on this little Bro, I'm just chunking damage too much. A little bit better introduction to some of the guns is something that I probably wouldn't mind, because the leech gun does it kind of like eats damage, health from enemies, and when you know the enemy is killed, the leeches drops, you actually you get that HP that the leech has taken from the enemy, and it can exceed your normal HP. So you should use this gun pretty much a lot to really help chunk up your health. Whoa, oh, okay. Laser brains. Did I drop? Did I get all my leeches back? Hopefully. Okay, you should really use that gun a lot to help you combat these games, you know. Help you combat the difficulty. That could be otherwise serious difficulty in this game with the health, by getting as much as you can by using that. Still have no alt fire, so I don't... No idea. No idea about the alt fire. This looks like there's gonna be some kind of fight room. Yeah, that seems like a trap. But I do have to take it, so... Triggering enemies? Yes. Really chunking in some big chunky boys here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Not artillery enemies here. Oh, this one, they just keep spawning again. This is not, as I said, I'm not a fan of this, like, spawning continuously, just... Yeah, it makes crowd control really quite annoying. This is a personal thing, I guess. I'm sure that you might enjoy this. I just think that Serious Sam did it much better. You have a large chunk just, you know, large chunk just spawning. Not just so slowly going back and forth, like lots of little corners to get stuck on and stuck, and just, yeah, this is just made for you to get stuck on. Intentionally or not doesn't really matter, but you will so easily get stuck on it. You know, it could be an enemy spawning behind me, and I can't really tell since there is this large cluster of enemies that I need to, you know, address, like this one here. They're spawning behind me, meaning my escape plan suddenly is severely messed up. No, look, they're spawning more here, so they keep spawning, so yeah, really quite annoying trying to keep like a crowd control going, since you just don't know where the hell the crowd is, pretty much all over the place. Ooh, that we took a lot of damage, got kind of stun locked. But then again, you know, with this spawning, you could definitely see, you know, that this might be very enjoyable by people, you know, that you constantly have to like keep a different watch on your environment. I think I could save there, hopefully. Gotta be very careful so I don't save. Alright, we are pretty much out of ammo for heavy guns. Oh, that was bad. Did way too much damage there by the end, but alright. Get some health back. Oh, I should have done this before I took the leeches. The leeches gave you over 100. That's the way I came from, right? Not a terrible one, but yeah, not my favorite. I think this could have been really nice if the enemy waves was spawning a little bit different again. But I can see the charm that, you know, that you like having to focus and then constantly going to check the map. That's gets a little bit annoying to me, personally. Like having to go constantly look behind me. What ammo is that? Looks like it should be shotgun ammo, but it's not. Not the rockets. It's... Nope. Is it this one? Nope. Nope. Oh, looks weird. Maybe it's bugged. Oh, if you do shoot them when they are shooting, will that make more damage? That's interesting. Yeah. I discovered that at the final level. This is again graphically very nice looking. Might be that I'm hitting straight in the eye, that like when they are firing, that make them take more damage. It's definitely a nice little touch. Oh wow, okay. There's a small corridor to do fighting in. Corridor shooter for sure in this little place. Oh look, it's the and quite a lot of damage there again. Quite difficult to not take damage. Okay, I'm these you guys, let's do this then. Picking up ammo. Do I have more ammo? No. Full ammo. And the health. This just feels like a more narrow Sam game again. It is backing up here. Not a terrible idea here so far. Just the hit scanning enemies that are a little bit interesting. Okay, so we have 2 ways to go. I wouldn't mind a little bit more space to fight in. It is very narrow. I did not mean to be so close to that one. That's a violin. You know, I wanna just quickly see if we can check. Oh. Bit curious to see if this leads to a different area or what is. I had my save, so I could always... Okay. This looks like it's a different area. Oof, don't do that. Your air control is not good. So it might be this way we are supposed to go or not supposed to go. But the music is also really kicking ass in this. Okay, so we probably need to take both paths to collect that one. Is there anything spawning behind me? Whoa! What? Oh man, yeah, this is a kind of a funky place. Yep. Oof. Okay, that's... You guys gotta go? Sounds like there are some foaming dudes left. Oh man, that's too much damage taken by me here. Not good. Yeah, I heard that one. Just felt like it was gonna hit me. It's terrifying. Those ones are not the worst one. They just... I need to just try to run and grab some help. And they are being hidden by the corpses, so again, I don't think that's a good game design. To have those, if they could have made them different and not as hit scanning or something. Not a good combination. Like they blend in very much with the background. It's extremely difficult to just dodge taking damage from them. Whew. This would have been much more fun if those were not present in this kind of battle here. Didn't I have more leeches? Did I? Here we go. That's a few ones. Guess not. There we go. Good, my health back. So yeah, we probably need to grab all the, 20 plus bonus damage there. And then we go to the next 30. For some reason, to unlock the next part of the level. 100 health. Not sure how much ammo I'm gonna have to take on this one. Exploded ones I would like to take care of, because they can make quite a chunk out of your health. That is so bad. How was I supposed to dodge that? Oh, whoa, oh, spawn right into a bomb guy again. Yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely not feeling how the enemy spawning is working here. Like the waves, it's it feels just like one of those difficulties that aren't really me in a fun challenge way. Like the crowd control, to constantly having to like going find one, check, once more, and then like it literally spawned right in mid that I couldn't dodge one of the exploded one, just chunking away health. I really don't think that's a good game design. In no way is that a fun game design. A little bit of it could have been mitigated if it was a little bit faster to swap weapon. Wow, I've taken so much damage here already. Get stuck on a corner, on the environment. And now they spawn right as I am here, trying to progress here on both sides. Yeah, and I'm sure there are people that really like that, how everything is playing out. Hello, switch weapon. Whoa, explodey boys. I think I'm doing a little bit better now here. And again, it's not that I don't think that I can get it through the fights with being more careful when they using the quick save here. Go. Just that some of the challenge here, some of the difficulty just feel a little bit artificial done in a weird way. Oh, what are we supposed to do now? What did open up? Did anything open up? Like the arena here is pretty good if it wasn't that, you know, like the spawning of like an enemy. Literally there was like kinda crazy hilarious if you think I'm looking, you know, trying it, and then as I turn, pretty much walk straight into a spawning bomb guy that just load straight up and chunked away off the health. And that is not really a fun way to take damage. It almost feels like the game is relying on you taking damage and then using, I guess, the leech gun and that to really be able to tank some of the damage. I guess that's a game mechanic, it's just not a game mechanic that I think is the most fun. Not really fun, is better way to say. Get a lot of max health here. I'm guessing there's gonna be another fight here. Looks like a fight arena here. So I'm really though curious about what I'm missing about the alt fire. Yeah. There's no alt fire that I can see. Yeah, this is again a good example of the kind of cheeky thing. You spawn two enemies far away here, so you're bound to take damage. Because they are hit scanning. I don't really felt that. Okay, some kind of boss here. With the hit scanning fire and enemies there. Okay. Let's try to just have a feel for the boss here to see what attacks he has. Whoa, okay. Can just chunk it out a little bit. Just trying to... I'm gonna do a couple of tries here, but just to see what's gonna happen here if we just chunk at the boss. Seems like the boss have some kind of grenades also. We can run around to get closer to the boss here. Do a stupid save there. Okay, so we got the boss taken out, but we still have all of these like enemies. The boss is rebuilding itself. It almost looks like there. Alright, interesting. Maybe I shouldn't have saved them. You never know. Not rebuilding, it's just the corpses lying there, okay. Maybe stupid saving again. Okay. What? Is that the final? Next level? Is that let's see if this what's happened now. 32. That was kinda underwhelming if that's the final boss. Way too easy on this difficulty. No hit scanning except for the boss there. was expecting more of those little spiders or something. Let's see what's happening here. Credits. Okay. It's an interesting way to showcase the credits. Have a credits level. That's yeah, interesting. And you can save in the credits level. Definitely, you know, it's not unheard of for like credits level to have gameplay in it. Is it New Super Mario Brothers? Or New Super Mario Brothers Wii U or something? That has it. This triggers bones in enemies so you can check at them. Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting way to do it. That will spawn in t.bone. That's like at the boss that they can spawn in if you wanna replay the end. Okay. Probably might be some Easter egg, or who knows, something you might check out this entire area maybe. You you have completed the game maybe? Modifications unlocked, okay. All enemies are okay. That could be interesting. Double spawn. I don't know how you're gonna do that if you don't get more ammo, but it could be fun. Don't think that's fun. Laser gun mastery. Oh, okay. So what is this doing? Just a quick peek here, right? This will give oh, there we go, thank you. This will give me... Just wanna see the gun, try it out. I haven't got any like alt fire thing here in the entire game, yes, kinda weird. Do you still have this one? We have infinite ammo. Oh. Still no alt fire. So pretty much playing the base game. You don't really need. No. There we go. You don't really need the alt firing button, especially if you're using like like a gamepad to play. You can use that for some other use case. It is interesting. The double spawner mode is definitely interesting. I don't know how good it will be to play this entire game with this gun. Could add some interesting one. Is it that I need to pick up 10 of those? Next upgrade. Okay. Okay. Can we get one upgrade? Would have been fun. But probably we need to pick up those little purple things to get some kind of upgrade. So let's see if we can end the video by getting one. So if we do that, next upgrade is a very... Oh, I did not see you guys there. Gravity core. Okay, so now we have an alt fire of some kind of thing. Can we get some other place to try it out? I don't know what the gravity core does. Okay, next upgrade is emptied up. Okay, so that will... Does add, I guess, replayability. Let's see, do I only have one of the gravity core here? Is that limited? Maybe it is. Next upgrade is... okay, can I only get one random upgrade per map? If I use that one, what happens with this? No, it's still one. Okay, upgrade is thing, but if I use... Okay, yeah, so now I can't use it. I'm out of that. Okay. And then I get it back. One. You still have... Still have this, right? That was... Can I have... Okay, so you can have bonus damage. Oops. Okay. Then I pick up that, I get a new one. There we go. Have another one. Oh, there we go. It's hard to tell in the dark, but there is a meter for the upgrade. They should have probably made that better. Here you can see it, the upgrade meter. If you're in a dark place, you have no clue about that. That's a good way to probably would be to tweak that. Would be fun if we could see one more upgrade here and then be finished here. Oops. Oops. Whoa. Oh my god, with this. Yeah, I remember this one. Did not have that much fun with it. Can I back? I don't think I can back up. If I do that, right, that gets locked away. Would have been fun to try one more upgrade here. That's locked off. 76 HP. Have I gotten all of my HP back here? Trying to get me. Oh. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, again, this is the game with the spawn, and so not what I feel is the most fun. Did I? Is this the end of the level, or do we have... Is there any more upgrade we can get? Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Just trying to see if we can get like an upgrade. Jesus Christ. Guess not. Seems like we were pretty close to an upgrade, but I assume we're not. So we probably should do... There we go. Did my... Okay, there we have one upgrade. It's an interesting upgrade for sure. Kinda like the BFG in a bit. I gotten all of them. I'm like right where I should get like an upgrade. I think they, if I read correctly, that they are random. But yeah, if you're just playing like the main base game, you don't need the alt fire any kind of way, pretty much so far, which I think it's a little bit of a missed thing there. They could have reduced the number of weapons and added alt fires that you could unlock instead. I feel that would have been overall a more enjoyable experience. Obviously you don't have to agree with that. Okay, that was the end, so I could only get one upgrade. That sucks. Well, that's illWill completed. So, what? Oh, alright, Yankee, let's go to the main menu here. Yes, we could do this. Let's see, modifications, right? I don't know if you can unlock more, but maybe you can. Let's do an exit. Yes. So, illWill. Overall impressions, stuff of the finishing in this, maybe. Graphically, I like it a lot. Like the combination of, I guess it's about 50% as dark levels, or maybe 50% dark levels. Then you have like 30% is really bright, and then 20 are a little bit kind of like between dark and bright. Maybe you could have mixed it up a little bit, like 50% of the first game is pretty dark in the graphical style, and then you just the rest is pretty much brighter, except for one area there. Maybe mix it up, I don't know, but that's the art style is really nice. It is really great. Feel it's fits the atmosphere and everything. Then we have music that just it isn't you know, the doom and like crazy FPS music that many game might go for, or something really upbeat, high tempo or something like that, like really it's a very eerie, creepy feeling mostly, and very fitting, especially with the dark atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. Sound effects are mostly alright, but it definitely is things that it could oomph it up a bit more. Nothing crazy there. Story-wise is that, you know, you pretty much have to like get your own story thing or stuff like that going. There's nothing really telling you. You can't really say. Obviously, a great story can help carry a game and they lift it up immensely. Otherwise, you know, you rely on core gameplay. So that's it. This doesn't really have a great story to carry it, or it have, I guess, eerie mystery vibe and stuff, but really it's just about the gameplay. So if you're interested in the game story-wise, you know, if that's what you like in games, in like no matter if it's Doom or Duke Nukem 3D or whatever, it's just not gonna be in this game really. I guess in a way you could say that this is like Tunic or Death's Door inspired, that, you know, it doesn't really toss a clear story straight in your eyes. So let's continue on and way to the gameplay. Pretty simple, you know, move, jump, shoot, switch guns. Pretty basic. For the most time it works. Well, I guess you have double jump. I think what could have made this more feeling the gameplay a little bit better would be swapping weapons that you could allow the player to swap before the animation is finished, or at least have that if you press swap guns during an animation, that it will swap after the animation is done. That is not the case. So like for the double barrel, I might pop off a shot, And during the reloading animation, I press to switch to rocket launcher or any other guns, and it will not trigger. It will not swap ears, and will just keep having the same gun out, and I will fire another double barrel gun, which is not what I wanted. So that is something that I would really think could be really fun to tweak, to change up. Yeah. Otherwise, the floaty double jump. It's when you jump, you kind of like commit to that jump. You have a little bit of slow down a little bit. You changing direction a little bit. And the same go for the double jump. If you jump right and then you want to use your double jump to dodge back left, your momentum will drastically decrease, slow down. And if they would have made it so that, you know, you have better air control, not as floaty and just not slowing down, you could dodge a little bit projectiles a little bit easier and would have made it a more solid feeling there. And this is definitely something that I don't say a lot in most games these days, is that I think they could have added something more. Like a dash, a dodge, something, especially to kind of counter like the hit scanning enemies. If you have like, let's say the blue guys there, if before they were to fire, that they can have like their eyes will light up red, and you have like a dodging mechanic, that could have been really help this one. Or for the spiders, something, you have this charging sound, so maybe if you time with like a dodge, you know, you give you more of abilities to kind of counter that. Could have been more fun. That's probably most for the gameplay there. Level wise, pretty alright mostly. They looks really nice, very detailed. Diversity with the dark, the bright. Some of the like more of a open. They aren't. It's a linear game. You pretty much are forced to go away, and it's fine. I don't mind it. But you have larger areas there in one of the games, in the brighter areas there. And I think that's a nice to the super limited corridors in some place, but you know, it's not bad to have like these cramped spaces also. It's just that it takes more for you to balance the enemies in the spaces like this. In more open areas, you have more like you can do more with open areas with enemy types, and not having it being such a bad experience. Mostly the hit scannings in open areas that can really mess up if you don't have any good way to hide or dodge from bullets. So there's a lot of just enemy placement, enemy types that can be done in the levels. The levels themselves, I think, is mostly fun and great. Nothing really complaining there. I think level 9 is the biggest one. It was a little bit confusing to which of the mirror rooms how I went. Maybe having like numbers or some kind of symbols over like the pathways. So especially if you're gonna run this fast, so you know exactly which one to take, because I think it is like one of them that you had to go to, or two. And I guess I got lucky in my first play of that level that I just went into two of the rooms and I could progress. Then when I redid it, I went to the two rooms I didn't need to go to progress, or two new rooms at least, which kind of made it confusing because I felt I went the same way, but I got lost there and was thinking maybe this is some random rooms being created, but it most likely wasn't. It was just me getting lost there. So that level, a little bit of tweaking. And overall, with the current gameplay and game style, probably tweak some of the environmental. It was kind of easy to get stuck. And when you're doing a lot of backtracking and you have enemies popping up constantly again, that's definitely one of my biggest thing here, is like the enemy placement and how the waves of the enemies are being done. It's not, in my opinion, that fun if you constantly have enemies popping up. It makes it very moving back and forward to be able to see. It adds some kind of difficulty, but it can also cause nauseation and you know, just confusing it, because you have to constantly move your camera view to like have an overview. And if you have more of like a quicker, you know, spawning of an enemy waves, more easy to be, okay, here the enemies are now, they probably gonna move this way to me, and you can learn the patterns and attack that way. So I would probably like some tweaking of that. Length of the game is fine for the price. Probably gonna go on sale and be really worth it. Yeah, I think I summarized most of the thing. What really needs to be improved is options. The graphical options are really lacking. I want to remove the graininess and the chromatic stuff and all kinds of stuff. And also it's good to add maybe a bit of motion blur settings for people that want that. Anti-aliasing settings, again, would be nice. Obviously when it's an indie studio, but FSR or DLSS, those things are really great to have in the games, even if it's running pretty good. Having it be in, if I had DLSS, probably I could have this pin to like 120 constant, and that is really nice. Frame rates option for 60 and 120 seems a little bit underwhelming, you know. Add more options or an unlocked mode would be really nice. Overall, the settings menu, definitely like something about that tweak. Also, you have the alt fire mode, but it's not used in the first playthrough. Some kind of like information about that, because it's kind of confusing playing the entire game and like you're just waiting for when will the alt fire kick in. And I think a good way to like would have been to just have 4 weapons and have every gun unlock an alt mode, because that would mean that the guns would be more interesting, and it will be less buttons to use, but in a great way. And it would also take maybe away a little bit of this quick swapping of the guns, like you might not have to swap as much. And yeah, I think that would have been better in this game. Less guns, and all guns have an alt fire. And that will also make more sense for the, or you know, in the controls, you look and like, oh, I have an alt fire. You get confused, and then when you finish the game, you're like, oh, there's a game mode where I can just use one gun and have alt fire. Okay, interesting. I think that was really interesting, and if I'm read correctly, that you will get some random upgrades. So replaying it and getting through it with that gun and that mode, definitely an interesting one. But having, it would have been better to incorporate it into the main game with the alt fire. Reduce again the number of things and done different thing with it and with that game mode. So yeah, I put this game in the solid middle ground on an FPS. Right, maybe before we end this one, also, I think having quick save is great. It adds the players, you know, can choose to, I just want to play the game, the levels, one life, I'm dead, I start over. It also lets a user to, you know, I want to save this way before certain aspects, or you know, to save scam through bosses if this gets difficult. But an options to have checkpoints also, that you can have in an option to be enable autosaves or enable checkpoints on off, would really be good, because again, it's a little bit annoying that you can again say it's all the player's fault, my fault, that I did a quick save during level 9 on the final boss battle, and I missed that I had low health. And it happened also to be that just at that save point, with that amount of health, the game then decided that we're gonna spawn these 4 enemies that are hit scanning, and it was just no way to recover. And that is, again, I think, when you have hit scanning enemies, you need to really think about the placement of them and what kind of arena or environment you're gonna place them. And if the player cannot dodge, it can get a very bad experience. So that was just everything come together and just effed me up in a bad way. Me not spotting that my health was a bit too low, the arena having no cover for me to take. I'm just saving when I'm hitting a new wave of hit scanning enemies. And yeah, and also it felt like the difficulties there from easy to normal wasn't super balanced. The normal is pretty good, solid middle point, but it didn't really feel like it was a big drop from normal to easy. It could maybe be tweaked there, more ammunition, lesser health or something, more armor. So everything combining puts this in like the middle ground, and I think the price point for most probably would be around $15 euros, where you will feel, if you like FPS game, that this was good. 20 price point isn't crazy, and if you like the game and you want to replay it, you get good value for money. But if it happens to be that it ends on being like not your type of FPS, $20 euros there is gonna be like you feel that it wasn't worth it. So yeah, that's the risk of it. But overall, just a decent FPS experience. Not too many frustrating moments, and the frustrating moment is pretty much down to 2 places, so not terrible for this game. And I probably made this in 6 hours, something like that, taking it slow, doing commentary, pointing out my point of view of some of the battles and stuff like that. If I just were to run this, trying to go quick, maybe could shave off it down to 4-5 hour mark. Decent chunk. If you're really good at it, playing on easy difficulty, probably can do it in, people say, maybe 2-3 hours, and then $20 might again be too steep for you. But at the end of the day, pretty enjoyable, pretty alright, but it's just nothing that's gonna stand out, nothing that's gonna want me to replay it, nothing that's gonna pushing me to play it on a different difficulty, nothing of the things that you get, modification there, that's gonna really warrant me to go for a second playthrough. It's just, alright, right here in the middle. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more videos coming up. I have no idea what it's gonna be. Maybe I can finally get to Metro Prime. So yeah, follow if you don't want to miss videos coming up. Leave thumbs up or thumbs down, depending on what you felt this channel, this video did for the channel, positive, negative, or if you in general think this was just a bad video, thumbs down. Leave a comment if you have anything that you want to leave feedback about, or tips, or whatever. And till next video, have a great day.